Clinton resident, an artist, and Paint It Back.
Yes.
You were telling me the story, and I want our listeners to hear it because it is such a great story as how Paint It Back all came to be.
Well, sure. It is a great story, honestly. So I have a studio space and on Main Avenue, 83 Main Ave. And so it was during the 2023 Art and Wine Walk in May. And I remember Chris and I also, had just started dating, as I was telling you. And so I was at this Art and Wine Walk and handing out food or snacks or candy or something like that. And I just kept looking at the building. And I have always loved the Toyota building. Like, I've always thought, like, oh my gosh, that is such a jewel. Like, what could we do with it? And I knew that it's owned by the sawmill, and they were sort of figuring out what they wanted to do with it. And so I was like, it was just sort of a perfect alignment of meeting Chris and knowing how talented and connected he is in the street art world, and seeing that building and knowing that, I already had a few large public art projects under my belt, and knowing how to project manage all of that, and just being really inspired and thinking, oh my gosh, like, okay, well, until they kind of make a decision on what to do with it, let us have it, and we'll just turn it into art and make it beautiful. And I was telling you, like, in all honesty, the Paint It Back was born from love. I was falling in love with someone, and I love Clinton, and I love our community, and I loved that building, and I just wanted to, I have always and believed in and advocate for, and I do so much work at the state level with this in particular, is that I know public art transforms not only spaces but communities. It really is a driver for development and growth and re-energizing spaces and the way people think about where they live. And so it really is, Paint It Back is about love, and it's about love of community, love of art, love of, just where we live, and it's a celebration for sure.
It's interesting. The other day we had some youngsters in at Clinton High School with the Synergy program, and one of their first projects was murals.
Yes, I remember that. Yeah, Bill was like, you're an artist, can you come talk to these kids? And I was like, okay, but I don't know about murals, but I'll come talk to kids, but I learned a lot from them, and they were awesome, and their energy is truly inspiring. I mean, the Synergy program is such an asset for our town, and I love that it's still going on.
We have you in because you're raising funds for Paint It Back, so what's going on this evening?
Well, tonight we are having our what we call is sort of our kickoff fundraising event. So we are entering into our fundraising season. So Paint It Back is an awesome festival, and it also is about $50,000 every year. It's not cheap. Paint is not cheap, and we are, we're very adamant about paying the artists that come and making it so that they come and they're valued, and we pay for their flights, if they fly, we pay for their room and board, and obviously they have a stipend to be here, because it is 7 days, and a lot of these guys, they're taking off work and taking, time out from their life to be here. So yeah, all in all, it costs between $50,000 and $60,000. So we try to raise $50,000 every year, and that's no small feat,
no.
Believe me. But it's amazing how the town has responded, particularly from year 1 to year 2. It's just been tremendous, and I think as we continue to host these festivals and grow as an organization, because we are now a 501c3. The sky's the limit, really. So, so we're kicking off fundraising season, so please make it down. It's at the Rusty Barrel. I will be bartending with Ari Leverins and Matt Parbs, who serve on our board. I encourage you to order all the martinis. There could be a wait time, just a little, as I learned. I did a training session on Tuesday with Lindsay, because I was like, Lindsay, I have never really bartended before, so perhaps a little refresher or like a training course.
Yeah.
So, but yes, bring your cash tips. All of that goes towards supporting this year's Paint It Back Festival.
I never would have guessed it was that amount of money that is needed to put something like this on, but I guess you're right.
Well, you think so? The artist stipends. We have the paint costs a lot of money, because we use obviously like artist grade spray paint and then bucket paint. and we also, the lifts cost money. Like, it all adds up really, really quickly.
I bet so. So what other fundraising things do you have in store?
Well, so we will do, our kickoff event is tonight, and then we'll have a letter campaign. So those will be going out here shortly. We obviously are strategic as well in terms of our grant applications. And so we have some that are already out and a few more that we're going to be applying for. And then I go and I do the circuit, and I go on the TV, and I come here, and I go to Rotary and Kiwanis. I hit all the clubs, and I just pound the pavement and spread the good word of Paint It Back and what we're trying to accomplish, and just really the impact that we've had already is, it's really a testament. Even in the first year, we had a business owner on Main Avenue was like, I've seen my sales increase, because of this. And I feel like I've shared that before, but I'm just like that. I mean, that's real. And someone came to us with that information, right? Like, that was really special. And I think also what is really special is that it's not just the community that loves the festival. As we were talking outside, the artists love the festival. And all of our artists were like, please, 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 please let me come back. And one of our artists, Wes, is like, this is going to be his third year. And several of them are like, this was the highlight of my year last year. Like, I can't wait to go back to Clinton, because they fell in love with the festival, they fell in love with the community, and they fell in love with the town. We had bikes that Chad Jensen and Dan Serp had donated, and they would just scooch around town, and they went all the way to the park. They rode along the riverfront on the dike, and all of it, Mm-hmm. So yeah, I think that's pretty special.
I think so. That's very great to hear. Now, what are the dates for this year's festival?
So this year it will be August 16th through August 23rd. Our block party will be on the 23rd. So usually we block off the streets, and that starts at noon and ends at 10. The Stockwells will be headlining again. They're our official Paint It Back band. But we are adding a few things this year. So because, we want to grow and add more every year for people to enjoy and really grow into our name as a festival, so a multi-day event. So we are going to have a Friday artist meet and greet at the building. So at that point, people can come and buy T-shirts, and then the artists will be there. You can you can always talk to the artists, because A, that's part of what this festival is about, and B, they're really friendly and approachable. And they'll sign the shirts, and they usually draw on them and stuff. So we can do that on Friday, and we'll have a DJ. And then the next day, Saturday, we'll start at noon, and we have our kids' wall. We'll have some activities for the kids. And then we're going to have our food truck vendors. But this year, too, we're going to add an element where we're still working on this, but we're also trying to add an art fair element, so we can have our artists from around the area come and set up a booth and try, it's an opportunity for them to sell their stuff and also, meet more people. So that's really exciting. And then we're going to have more bands this year. So Josh Musman, who is a wonderful friend and, the front man of the Stockwells, he's our booking agent. So if you're a band and you're interested in playing the festival, please, sorry, Josh, putting you out there, but contact Josh, and we can, he'll see what our schedule is like.
Visiting with Gabi Torres. We got a couple more minutes, and again, thank you so much for coming in. Did you, when you first came up with this idea, imagine that it would grow to something like this?
I guess at the time, no. I knew what was possible. And again, like my belief in art and what the power it holds, I believe that to the fiber of my being. And so I think at the beginning, it was just about, oh my gosh, just first of all, getting approval and getting the okay, and then executing, because we put the first one on in 3 months' time, and it literally takes me essentially the festival ends in August. I probably take the rest of September is kind of like, okay, I'm gonna relax, and then I start planning again. So this is roughly 11 months of planning for each festival.
Well, I must say that it's incredible what these artists are able to do. It is amazing. And it is such a huge wall that they have to actually complete.
It is. They're amazing. And so these artists, too, that we're so lucky to have them, because these guys are like in the world of street art and graffiti and all of that. Like they're they're very well respected and well known, and I've been doing it for 20, 30 years. And so like they have like, I was doing some totals the other day because I was like, I wonder, what's our social media reach? And together with all of our artists, and they have like followers, like 70,000 people who follow them, and it's wild. And because of their reputation, we are now partnering with a company called Loop Colors USA, which is an international spray paint company. That they supply our paint, and they are partnering with us this year for the first time. So and they want to collaborate and make sure that during that week, they're also amplifying what we're doing and putting it out on their social media. And so, we're entering into their family. And I mean, who would have thunk it? So to go back to your original question, I knew it was going to be good, or I knew it would be hopeful and bring joy, and this is even bigger and better than I could have imagined.
Well, what you have done for that North End is outstanding.
Thank you.
Talk a little bit about your studio before we let you go.
Oh, terrific. So I have, so Chris and I, our studio space is 83 Main Avenue, which is currently undergoing some serious organization, renovation. Chris is building shelves like it's his job. We're just getting that to a functional studio space again, because it's had to be storage for a while and all this stuff. And then what's exciting is next door. So I, back in 2021, maybe, I ended up purchasing the building where my studio is at. And so next door is 81 Main Avenue. And this past year, I went through a really intense and laborious renovation project and restored 81, and it's absolutely beautiful. So Dustin Weiss was my contractor. Shout out to him because he was awesome. And we have the original brick is now back and showing. We have the original hardwoods exposed again. We raised the ceilings. It is a stunner. And so, in true like Gabi fashion, I was going to lease it, and then I just loved it too much. And then I was like, Chris, so we were cleaning the studio, and we had to move some of my canvases into that 81 space. And then we were looking around, and I was like, well, what if we just make it a gallery and we just do something with it instead? So that's a future project coming soon. We're not sure quite when that'll be ready, but we're going to add an art gallery now, like an official art gallery space next to our studio space.
That is great. So again, keep us in mind whenever you got something coming up, reach out to me. I would love to have one of the artists or a couple of the artists come in the week that they're in town.
Oh, absolutely.
That would be great.
Oh, yeah, for sure. They're super friendly, and they'd love to come in and talk to you.
And of course, my brother Pat always keeps you.
Well, Pat is very, very important to our festival, as you know. He donates and keeps us well supplied.
Oh, Gabi, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Check of the weather now, brought to you by Dan Dolan.
A windy and very warm Friday on track. An isolated shower storm possible early, otherwise mostly sunny, and temperatures near 80 degrees today. The fire danger is also high, so avoid anything burning outside. For tonight, partly cloudy.